Welcome to Nerderhertz Presents the Commodore Amiga. Today we're going to quickly go over all of the Commodore Amiga games released during its launch year, 1985. First up is the Other Valley Software, who published two games. Some say Monkey Business is the first commercially available game made for the mighty Amiga. The first release looked like this, which is a mostly chromatic game on a computer known for its graphic capabilities. What I'm playing is version 2, which seems to be a more colorful version of their first attempt. An advert at the time describes the game as the top IRS agent in your area. You have been volunteered to collect from Mr. Big. In your 10 years as an IRS agent, you have seen every tax dodge imaginable. As you begin your pursuit of Mr. Big throughout his huge mansion, you quickly discover why the last 3 agents who came here did not return. To collect from Mr. Big, you must first overcome an obstacle or two, such as an 8-foot-tall, 450-pound bodyguard, rolling and flying trash can, along with ferocious attack dogs. That is certainly an interesting take on a Donkey Kong clone. Graphically, Monkey Business is very basic, with your character only appearing to have 2 frames of animation, which is the same for the bodyguard throwing the trash. The game is devoid of music beyond when your character dies and bare bones basic sound effects. Seems with this clone, you are getting to the top to rescue the previous IRS agents. Only 3 of the 4 levels from the arcade are present, but look and play very similar as well. There's nothing here remotely entertaining with this poor attempt at a Donkey Kong clone. The only other title released by the Other Valley Software is Delta Patrol, which is a Defender clone with a helicopter. Was not expecting them to make another clone of a famous arcade game. A complete surprise, to be sure. Instead of using a joystick, you control the helicopter with the mouse. I actually appreciate the effort made to use the provided input device for the Amiga to control the game. It does take a few moments to get used to it, mainly due to the inertia of the helicopter, but eventually becomes very playable. The game has no music and only basic sound effects. The graphics are serviceable, with the top of the screen showing a radar of the playfield and the bottom showing your remaining fuel and number of lives. There is really nothing special about this game, and I'm honestly not really sure what I'm supposed to do, as it simply seems to be an endless wave of enemies until you die. Another forgettable early software release from a company that only made 2 mediocre clone games for the mighty Commodore Amiga. The oddly named Mark of the Unicorn published a single game called Hex. This is a turn-based clone of Qbert that is described as a mind-boggling graphic strategy game in which you're challenged to go against 120 levels. As you jump on a hex, the colors will change to a predictable sequence of colors, green to red to purple to blue and back to green. When 2 adjacent hexes are the same color, they will lock with each other. Eventually, you want to get the entire playfield locked to the same color to complete a level. What makes this game much more than a simple Qbert clone is that Hex offers more than 100 magical spells which you and your opponents can use to turn the board to your advantage. Infocom released 2 of their interactive fiction games for the Amiga, which were also multi-platform games that were released on other 8-bit platforms of the time. First up is A Mind Forever Voyaging, which you are controlling the world's first sentient computer called Prism in the year 2031. The game centers around simulating the life of a man called Perry Sim, based on a plan to reverse crime and unemployment rates, decayed school systems, and government regulations that have led to a lazy and contentious society to determine if the plan will succeed. Infocom's other title, Wishbringer, is a much more simpler affair, as it was designed as an easier game as an introduction to text adventures, which you are a postal clerk in a small fishing village in which you are eventually tasked to defeat the evil one. Nothing too deep, but again, it was designed for new players. The legendary Activision published 2 games. First up is Mind Shadow, which is a graphical text adventure developed by Interplay. This is a text adventure game like those by Infocom, but with graphics depicting locations and other gameplay elements. It centers around your character starting out on a beach on an island with no memory of your identity. Thus begins your quest to regain it. Nothing groundbreaking here, as graphical text adventures were introduced during the 8-bit computer generation. Next up is Hacker. This is a simulation of being a computer hacker. The game was shipped with no information on how to play, thus building the concept that the player has hacked into a computer system, which is centered around controlling a subterranean remote unit robot that can travel around the Earth using secret tunnels. Without any included instructions on how to play the game, it is up to you as a hacker to figure it out. Finally, there are 3 games released by the infamous Electronic Arts. All 3 games are ports previously released on 8-bit computers such as Atari and Commodore 64. First up is One on One, which is literally a one-on-one basketball game with Larry Bird versus Julius Erving, whom are 2 legendary NBA players during the 80s. This is a very simple half-court game of basketball with 2 legendary players. The graphics and sound effects are serviceable, and the game controls reasonably well. Next up is Archon, The Light and the Dark. This is a chess-type game with the addition of battles take place when pieces occupy the same place, where each piece has different battle abilities, and the victor claims the square. There are several win conditions, such as occupying the 5 power points located on the board, eliminating all opponent pieces, or eliminating all but one remaining imprisoned piece of the opponents. Lastly, there is 7 Cities of Gold, which has a really cool intro with a feather writing the title of the game. This game, you are an explorer from the 15th century attempting to discover the New World, meeting up with local natives in order to obtain gold and win the favor of the Spanish court. Being a later port of the 8-bit computers, the Amiga version doesn't improve much on the graphics and sounds, which does not deter how much fun this game is. As you set sail to explore the New World, meet local natives in an attempt to interact with them through various different ways. There is an included historical war to explore and the ability to create random maps to increase the longevity of the game. And there you have it, all the games released during the launch year of 1985 for the Amiga. Not terrible, but not great. Oddly, there were no racing games or RPGs released, especially since the Commodore 64 had a plethora of them leading up to 1985. Was 1986 any better? Perhaps I'll revisit that at another time. Thank you for watching Nerdahertz presents the Commodore Amiga.